Hi Internet. In this video, I will be going over something interesting I found in the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. So from time to time, I like to visit this book. I've always enjoyed philosophy, and I like to kind of touch up on some of the lessons. I think this is one of the best books in my collection. And I kind of wanted to go over one particular section of the book. So as you can see, there are 366 meditations. You have one per day. So they're all dated. I don't always like to go in order. I just like to go to whatever page I feel like going. And yeah, I was taking notes on a particular passage. So this quote is by Epectitus, and it reads, "Some things are in our control, while others are not. We control our opinion, choice, desire, aversion, and in a word, everything of our own doing. We don't control our body, property, reputation, position, and in a word, everything not of our own doing. Even more, the things in our control are by nature free, unhindered, and unobstructed, while those not in our control are weak, slavish, can be hindered, and are not our own." Now, the part of this that stood out to me the most, and for some reason, I think I only read this passage once in my life. This is the second time I'm reading it, and it feels different this time. Maybe it's because I'm still getting over a cold. I don't know. But basically, it's this part over here. We don't control our body. Wow. We don't control our body. And it makes me think of all these medicine commercials or like big pharma stuff. And how like sometimes we're convinced that something can help us, like our physical body, but it really doesn't, or the side effects are too great for the medicine to even be worth it. It's kind of a bleak thought. But it provides some relief in knowing that you don't have to go over the top with your health. Like, you don't have to stress out. You don't have to overthink your health. I mean, overthinking in general, it's not the healthiest activity. But when it comes to our physical health, sometimes we think we can control what our body does, what our hormones do. And that's not the case. So, yeah, I just thought that was really interesting. We don't control our body. And I kind of want to journal a little bit. And yeah, kind of notate moments when I thought I could control my own body, and then my body decided, no, this is how you're going to experience life right now. So, so I'm going to write down examples of times when I thought some little misspellings there. Examples of times when I thought I had control over my body. And then I'm also going to write down moments when my body reminded me of how much or how little control I have. And it can be hard to grasp the idea or the truth of not having control over certain things. And I take it personal, when I can't control my body or my health. I find it offensive. So I'm going to start listing some things. Moments of time. Examples of times when I thought I had control over my body. I want to say going to the gym. So I love the gym. I love going there. But I think for the first half of my 20s, I essentially went there for fitness or like a combination of fitness and aesthetic purposes. This is very common with women in their early 20s or mid 20s to want to go to the gym to have a certain body type or whatever. So I think it was a necessary phase, but in particular, weight training. Weight training actually caused a lot of injuries, and that kept taking me 2 steps back. And it was just a very painful experience because not only was I in pain from injuries, but I was also frustrated because exercise gives me a surge of joy. I love to exercise. So I had to realize that I will not be able to control the pain that my body feels when I'm weight training, even if I'm doing it the safest way possible. Like, it's just not worth it. And it was very frustrating to deal with that reality, or to face that reality, that weight training might not be the best thing for me because my body is so prone to injury. And I think the first couple times I got injured, I basically said to myself, I told myself a lie that the reason I get injured weight training is because I'm weak, and that the stronger I become, the less injuries I'll have over time. So that's not true for me. It is not true for my body. Maybe some other bodies out there, but not for mine. So I had to face the fact that my body's just different and I will not be able to weight train. Now, my idea of weight training now is cleaning, carrying my own groceries. So like everyday things, right? Instead of asking for help, I'll just carry a gallon of milk up the stairs by myself. And that's a form of weight training. It's everyday weight training. There's no reps involved, really. You know, you just do a little bit at a time. And I was watching this YouTuber, I think the name of the channel is Jade the Libra or something like that. She makes so much fun content, particularly around Halloween. It's so good. And anyway, this is such a segue. She was basically saying that her arms got really buff after having her baby. Like her arms just got really strong and her shoulders got bigger. And she mentioned it's because she carries her toddler around, and that has made her muscles stronger. So like having those, like, I guess technically they're reps, right? Because she's carrying her child every day, throughout the day. But the reps, there's space in between those reps. You know, there's time that goes by between each time she lifts that kind of weight on her body. And that resonated with me. And, you know, I thought to myself, well, I guess if I become more independent with how much weight I carry on a day-to-day basis, groceries, maybe appliances, like when I'm cleaning counters and things like that, I will gain strength. And that's what happened. Okay, that happened. And I haven't injured myself doing basic things. With the exception of laundry. We don't have a laundromat in our home. I'm sorry, we don't have a laundry machine in our home. So I find myself having to carry a bag. And I used to carry a large bag to the laundromat by myself. And then I started having my partner do it. And then I went back to doing it by myself. But instead of carrying a large bag of dirty clothes, now I carry like a pillowcase filled with clothes once or twice a week. Now, if laundry gets out of hand, then yeah, I will gladly ask for help at that point. but yeah, times when I thought I had control over my body, I still don't have control over my body, even if I still don't have control over the strength of my muscles, even if I am doing like day-to-day, like everyday stuff by myself. Like there is a possibility I could still get injured. And again, it's a sad reality, but it is what it is. Another time I thought I had control over my body, I want to say, and this is a hard one for me to talk about, but my eye prescription. Am I spelling that correctly? Is it prescription or prescription? Huh. Alexa, how do you spell prescription?
Prescription is spelled P-R-E.
Alexa, stop. Okay, so yeah, I did spell that correctly. Eye prescription changing. This was a hard one for me, but basically adapting to like a new pair of glasses was hard for me. And yeah, I thought I would be able to keep my glasses for a long time, but I had to change them out. So yeah, that's that. I just noticed that these are the same thing. Examples of times when I thought I had control over my body and moments when my body reminded me of how little control I have. These are all the same. Yeah, these are the same thing. I just wrote the same thing twice. Moments when my body reminded me. Okay. I'm trying to think of other things that have happened. Oh, so this is a good thing. I don't want to only mention negatives, but I want to talk about the healing process too. This is super cool. Super cool. So I actually injured myself with a hot glue gun, and a large glob of glue fell on my pinky, and there's documentation of it in my channel. Like if you look closely at some of my crafting videos, you'll see a bruise on my pinky. But I had this giant blister for like 2 weeks, and then because it's on my hand, I got to watch it heal over weeks, and it was just the coolest thing ever. Like, it was just pretty cool. I don't injure myself to that level often. like bruise myself or, you know, have scratches and things like that. But this was probably one of the worst injuries I've had on my hands. I've never seen anything like that before on my body. And it was just really cool watching that injury heal. And I developed more gratitude for my body and its capabilities. So basically, this applies because you can't slow down or speed up how fast something heals. Or like if you do, it's such a small amount, you know? Like there's medicine and things out there, and that's fantastic. But you know, I'm thinking back to this time when medicine may have been limited, right? Technology is limited, or so we think, right? Back to Epectitus' time. And I'm sure they had herbs and things like that to help with scratches and scrapes and things. But you can't tell your body, hey, heal, hurry up, heal this injury, heal this scrape. So yeah, anyway, it was just really cool watching that blister heal. What's another thing? So as you can see on this list here, we control our opinion, choice, desire, and aversion. Notice how emotion is not on that list. So it wasn't listed here. But I am going to put emotion. And this is another sad reality that, you know, when we have certain emotions, we can't just like push them out. Like our brain, like on a molecular level, our brain doesn't work like that. Sometimes we have to experience certain emotions until they go away. And that includes, I'm going to put boredom as an emotion too, because you can't always fix boredom right away. Like sometimes you just have to experience these emotions. The same with happiness and anger. So like, for example, I'm going to write down certain examples here. A time I felt sad and I really tried to change it. I want to say, what is a time when I felt sad? Oh, so plans were canceled. Plans canceled due to the weather. So that's another thing, right? You can't control the weather. But plans canceled, and I felt sad, and I tried to do something at home that was fun to like cheer me up, or, you know, to make up for the fact that my plans were canceled. But it was still sad because the plans were canceled, and I have been looking forward to those plans for so long. So what I had to do was I had to feel my sadness for the day, and then instead of fighting it, I just let myself be sad. And then by the time the evening came, I was more neutral. And the next day, I was happy because I was able to do said plans because the weather was nice, right? And I allowed myself to feel that happiness instead of, feeling sad the day before, because there's no reason to feel sad at that point, right? I'm happy. So I let that happiness sit. I let myself feel that happiness. Boredom. Let's see. What is a time I felt bored? Like no matter what I did, I was just bored. So this might be kind of controversial. TikTok. Sometimes I find myself getting bored. It's so weird. So one of the reasons I use TikTok is for music inspiration. I like to record shorts on my channel, and I like to look to TikTok videos for inspiration on what kind of songs I could use for some of my videos. Like TikTok has really good music. So yeah, but sometimes I get bored and then I just have to turn off TikTok. Like sometimes TikTok has really funny things like cat videos and stuff, but I find most of the content really boring. Like makeup videos and stuff, it's not really my jam. And I've tried to fix my algorithm. I've tried to fix my algorithm by watching or searching for content that I find amusing, and it just doesn't work. So anyway, so I just let myself stay bored. Like TikTok bores me. Yeah, so I just deal with it in order to find good music. And then I try to get off TikTok to do something somewhat fun. But yeah, boredom is not always something I can control. Anger, this is a good one. We cannot control our anger. Like, let's just be honest. We can control our actions. So if we're angry at someone for breaking our phone, and then at that point we get to choose, what do we do? Like, do we go after their phone, or do we just walk away from the situation and try to fix the problem? So, but at that point, you're still angry, even if you're doing the right thing, even if you're not hurting anyone. Like, that anger is still going to be there, whether you decide to take or hurt somebody, like physically, or like do something to somebody, you're still going to be angry. So you're going to be angry even if you're walking away. So, sometimes we just need time. Another thing we can't control, time. But sometimes we just need time to let these emotions pass, because we can't control our emotions, because we cannot control our body. So I'm going to read the rest of this passage. I hope I don't get in trouble for this, for reading a page out of this book. But I'm going to read the rest of the page. And if this video gets copyrighted, that would really stink, but I hope it doesn't. Okay. Today, you won't control the external events that happen. Is that scary? A little. But it's balanced when we see that we can control our opinion about those events. You decide whether they're good or bad, whether they're fair or unfair. You don't control the situation, but you control what you think about it. So that's the other thing. We can't control our emotions, but we can control our thoughts. And I think for so many years, like, I thought that thinking or having a certain thought or changing my thought pattern would fix the emotion, right? So the emotions I just listed, sadness, boredom, happiness, anger, but it doesn't. It doesn't. It does offer perspective so you can have a healthy approach to those emotions, right? Like the phone scenario, like instead of hurting somebody because they broke your phone, if you have a thought that changes your perspective, like, okay, if I just walk away and try to fix this issue on my own, the outcome won't be so bad. You know, I'm going to be angry no matter what. So I might as well just not hurt anybody and mind my own business, you know? Or you can have the thought that, oh, no one gets to hurt me or my property, so I'm going to go after them. Right? So, and then that impacts our actions, which can make the anger worse because now you're angry for a longer period of time because not only do you have a broken phone, but you also have other issues, right? The authorities are called. Oh my God, this hypothetical story is getting more complex, but I think I'm having too much fun with this video, but yeah, our thoughts can make things worse. I don't think they can make things much better, but they can prevent us from making stupid decisions. And that's another hard reality. Like we can't lean on our thoughts to bring us joy, comfort, healing, unfortunately, but if we don't have a good perspective in mind, we can make things so much worse. So I want to analyze each sentence. Today, you won't control the external events that happen. So in this case, someone breaking my phone. By the way, again, this is just a hypothetical. I promise it's not real. Today, you won't control the external events that happen. Is that scary? Yes, but it's balanced. When we see that we can control our opinion about those events, right? So if someone breaks my phone, my opinion is, wow, what a jerk. Why would they break my phone? This is terrible. Now I don't have a phone that's working. And now I have to buy a new phone. This is terrible, which is my opinion. You decide whether they're good or bad, whether they're fair or unfair. Yes, very unfair. You don't control the situation. Correct. I can't control what someone else does, but you control what you think about it. Terrible situation. So opinion and think, I think it's the same thing, right? In this context, but yeah. See how that works? Every single thing that is outside your control, the outside world, other people, luck, karma, whatever, still presents a corresponding area that is in your control. This alone gives us plenty to manage, plenty of power. So we control what we think about it. You know, the person's a jerk. My opinion is that this is terrible because I don't have a working phone. But my thought is, okay, this alone gives us plenty to manage, plenty of power. So I will manage by walking away and not speaking to that person again. And best of all, an honest understanding of what is within our control provides real clarity about the world. All we have is our own mind. This is true. But even then, you know, there are people with mental health problems and, you know, but again, that's part of the body, right? Like the biological side of it, that's part of the body. We can't control that. So, okay, now I see why someone would say, have you lost your mind? Because now I know where the saying, have you lost your mind, comes from. Because, so here it says, all we have is our own mind. Once you lose your mind, which could be giving in to the biology of the body, right? You basically lose control of yourself. If you have your own mind and you can think properly and you have the correct perspectives on things, you can control yourself. Next sentence, remember that today when you try to extend your reach outward, that it's much better and more appropriately directed inward. Okay, I'm gonna have to dissect this one. Remember that today, when you try to extend your reach outward, that it's much better and more appropriately directed inward. Extending our reach. I think reach is in reference to control. Like when we put effort into controlling something outward, which is outside of our circle of control. The world, other people, luck, karma, whatever, right? It's better to manage or try to manage what we can control instead of wasting our energy or just resources on controlling what happens outside that circle of control. Great passage. I had a lot of fun dissecting this. The goal of this video was mainly ASMR. I really like making ASMR videos. I hope that's not too meta to mention, but I hope this has a positive effect. I'm debating on whether or not to keep the comment section closed or open. I'm trying to lean more into self-validation versus external validation. That's part of the reason why my comments on most of my videos are currently closed. Sometimes I'll have the comments open, but in general, I really want to focus on validating my own content instead of searching for outside opinions. But yeah, you can always email me if you have any insights or anything like that. If you want to send me a message, I'm happy to conversate with you. And you know, in relation to philosophy, I'm a huge fan of specific philosophers, and it's just really fun to think about. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later. Bye.